Really quickly, before we hop into the video, I wanted to shout out the channel again. We are still on the road to 9,000 subscribers. We're pretty damn close, trying to hit 10,000 before the end of the year. So if you guys are new to the channel, I would really appreciate the subscribe. Alright YouTube, so today I wanted to do a discussion video for Fallout 76, and of course it's about the PvP. This seems to be pretty much most people's biggest concern, is the fact that there is, it's a multiplayer Fallout, but we can actually kill each other. Other players can grief you, as some people say. There's also going to be microtransactions in the game, confirmed, but as of right now, they say it's cosmetic only, and everything that you can buy, you can also find in-game, but still, microtransactions is still a touchy subject, so that could be some other people's worries, but the focus of today's video is PvP. And what I wanted to talk about today is why PvP in Fallout 76 doesn't even matter. First and foremost, it ultimately means absolutely nothing. Yes, you gain a little bit of caps, loot, and experience, but that only happens if you agree to PvP. In order to earn those things, you'd have to challenge another player and them accept the challenge, so at that point you seem to be okay with PvP because you agree to it. But with those things aside, death doesn't really mean anything in this game. The only thing that sucks about dying is that you can lose your junk loot. Like, that's literally it. Respawning is free if you choose Vault 76 or whatever the nearest location to your death is. And then when you respawn, you're the same level, your progression hasn't changed, you have the same weapons, armor, stim packs, bottle caps, all that stuff. You still have everything from whenever you died. Death isn't permanent in this game, your progression isn't lost, you can't lose all your good loot. This isn't a survival game in the sense that another player can loot all your shit and you gotta start over when you respawn. It's not like that. Like, multiplayer, again, doesn't really mean anything. And yes, with recent information from QuakeCon 2018, we learned that even if you don't want to engage in PvP, somebody else still can kill you, which does suck, and that is it's an honest grievance. I understand why that would upset some people, and it doesn't, I'm not ecstatic about it, but I can understand, it doesn't bother me as much, but I can understand why people would be upset about that. The thing is, when it comes to this person who is shooting at you when you don't want to PvP, they say the damage is very small. Again, they compared it to a slap. We don't know how small the damage is. Is it 2 damage a shot? Is it 5, 10 damage a shot, 20 damage a shot? We don't know. We don't know how much like the damage is reduced. And I think this is a pretty important factor to this whole PvP situation, because the amount of damage that you're doing per shot is very telling of how bad this is going to be. Because if it's low damage, if it's 2 damage per shot, we have 100 health or something, you're looking at, 50 shots to actually be able to kill me. If it's 5, you're looking at 20 shots to kill me. If it's 10 a shot, you're looking at 10 shots to kill me. So, like, this actually does matter what the damage is going to be. And I posed a question in my last video where we talk about PvP. Does it change with weapons? Does it scale with weapons? Is the slap from a fat man going to be different from a pull cue? And look, if somebody kills you when you don't want to even be engaged in PvP, you don't even want to deal with that shit, it sucks. But they put a lot of stuff in place to where it's not that, like, earth-shattering as people are making it out to be. For starters, of course, if somebody kills you, they become wanted, there's a bounty on their head, they can't see other players, people kill them, they gotta pay the bounty out of their own bottle caps. We know all that stuff, yeah. And some people are probably gonna do that stuff on purpose because that's just how video gamers are. But if you get killed, you can just respawn away from that person. You know where they're at, you know where you died at. Respawn away, block them as soon as you spawn in, they're not gonna be able to see you on the minimap. You'll probably never see that person again for the rest of your life. Before we knew we could block players, I've complained about this in the past when talking about PvP and griefing. Like, if somebody kills me, somebody murders me, and, like, I spawn away from them, because that was always their defense, like, you just spawn away from them so they can't bother you anymore. My complaint was always, well, they could just look on the map, see where you're at, and come find you again. But now we know that you can block somebody, so that argument's gone anymore. I can't bitch about that, because I could just block them and they will no longer see me. The other option, if some guy's being an asshole, specifically targeting you, following you around, trying to mess with your game, you can just go to a different server. Is that inconvenient? Sure, to a degree, but I do it all the time. If somebody's pissing me off in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I exit the game, find a new lobby, probably never see that player again either. Same thing with GTA Online. I haven't played that game in a long time, but you can just bring up the menu and just click Find New Session, and it'll just put you in a new lobby. Like, there's going to be something like that for this game. They say there's not servers, but obviously there's going to be. Not every single person in the world is playing in the same lobby. We also know now there's a pacifist flag that if you turn on, activate whatever it is, you cannot, shoot at another player and damage them, so that people can't force PvP situations. But if you don't ever want to do that, just turn the damn thing on, and you never have to worry about actual PvP. Is it the best solution? Absolutely not. I think they should implement a passive mode, again, referencing GTA Online. It's like the best option. It would satisfy so many people. You turn on passive mode, you cannot damage another player, they cannot damage you, boom, everything is solved. They would get so much less bitching about this game. I agree that PvP should not be kind of forced like it is. Like, they don't want to implement something where you're totally immune to another player for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think it should be an option. It should be like any other game. ESO, one of their own games. You can just go up to another player, challenge them to a duel or whatever it's called in that game. Y'all fight it out, and that's it. Now, there's PvP modes. There's modes where you fight each other, have like wars and stuff with other players, which is pretty fun, but that's a totally different subject. But in the main base game, where you're running around the world questing and things like that, PvP is entirely optional. You can't just run up to another player and start attacking them, and I feel like that's how it should be in this game. But the thing is, it's not, at least at this point. By now, you know what the game is. It's an always-online, survival, multiplayer Fallout game where another player can kill you. If you don't like that, why are you watching this video? Why are you watching Fallout 76 videos at all if the game does not interest you? If everything you've heard about Fallout 76 so far makes you not like the game, here's a pretty fun tip for you guys. Don't buy the game. Like, it's so absurd to me to complain about a game that you're not forced to buy or play. And look, maybe the idea of a multiplayer Fallout bothers you, and that's completely fine. I'm not trying to make you like Fallout 76, but a good portion of the community does want this game and has wanted a multiplayer Fallout for a while. Do I know the exact ratio? No, but if we're being generous, we'll say 50-50. Half the community likes it, half the community doesn't. And there's probably a lot of people out there that think I'm some Bethesda apologist or a Bethesda fanboy, and there's definitely a time where I probably was, but I've been pretty critical of them for the past 2 to 2.5 years with Fallout 4. And Creation Club and other stuff like that too. I'm definitely not like some blind fanboy that just buys every game that they have. I actually don't even really support Bethesda as much as a lot of other people do. I really only play Elder Scrolls and Fallout. I don't even, like Dishonored, I don't have a problem with it. Wolfenstein, stuff like that, I don't have a problem with those games. But I just don't buy those. I'm not interested in those games. I'm really just here for Fallout and Elder Scrolls. But back to the fanboy apologist stuff. In the early days of this game being announced, whenever we first learned that it was going to be multiplayer, people were so pissed off. And they wanted me to be mad too, and I wasn't. Like, I wasn't upset that there was a multiplayer Fallout. It actually intrigues me. The idea is interesting. People were so pissed off that I wasn't pissed off that I actually lost subscribers because of this. People who have been subscribed to me for a while now were that pissed off that I wasn't mad about multiplayer Fallout that they unsubscribed to me. And again, this isn't just me blindly defending Bethesda. You can go back on my channel, videos from 2015 that are coming up on 3 years old, where I'm talking about multiplayer Fallout, Fallout Online, whatever you want to call it, Fallout 4 multiplayer, which oddly enough this game is built off of. The later end of this video is kind of changed with the topic, but I think it's important because if I'm not complaining about Fallout 76, it's not fake. Like, I legitimately enjoy the idea of this game. Is everything about this game perfect? Absolutely not. I don't particularly give a shit about settlements. When it comes to Fallout 4, through 3+ years of playing the game, a file where I did everything in the game, including all the DLCs, and a second and or third file, I've probably put a total of like 2 to 3 hours into settlements entirely over the past 3 years. I don't care about settlements, and it's even more important and more forced with Fallout 76. So that's something I'm not excited about. A somewhat recent video I did where I talk about the microtransactions and whether or not they'll be cosmetic only is me, kind of worried about microtransactions. Yeah, that can be an issue. It's a slippery slope. Something else that can be troublesome is the perk packs that we just learned about. That is something they could so easily monetize and make a lot of money off of. And we know there's going to be like hundreds of different perk cards in the game, so it's going to be kind of hard to collect all those. And they could easily be like, hey guys, give us X amount of money and you can buy perk packs. And that would be very bad. That's pay to win. And if the game comes out and there's something to complain about, something that pisses me off, that makes me want to bitch about stuff on YouTube, you're going to hear it. Most of the growth on this channel is from me ranting about shit, whatever it might be. After the game drops, I'm obviously going to be doing some sort of a review at some point, probably a beta review and then an actual full game review. You will hear me complain about stuff. The game's not going to be a perfect game in my opinion. I've reviewed Witcher 3, for example. I reviewed that game on this channel probably 2 or 3 times actually at this point. That game's a 10 out of 10 for me, and I still have things I complain about. Witcher 3 is almost a perfect game in my eyes, and I still have things that I'm like, this could have been better. The point of all this is that I am as honest as can be on the channel. I'm transparent as I possibly can be. People who have been subscribed to the channel for a while will know this. I speak my mind probably more than I should on the channel about stuff, but if I'm not upset about multiplayer Fallout or the PvP in Fallout 76, it's because I'm not. I'm just not upset about it. Anyways, this video really changed its subject matter by the end of it, but maybe it's something I felt like I needed to say for a while now. I just see people complain about this game all the time, like PvP, for example, which was initially the topic of this video. It's like there's so many things in place to where PvP is not that big of a deal. The examples I gave where, dying means nothing. You don't really gain a whole lot from killing another player. If you do murder another player, you gain nothing out of it. You can just go to a different lobby, you can fast travel away, you can block the player. Like, at this point, complaining about PvP is just kind of ridiculous. And again, I'm not trying to change your mind or make you like Fallout 76, but I just don't see the need to complain about a game all the time, especially when we're not even in the beta yet. So as always, guys, let me know your thoughts below, and if you went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter, add my Discord, links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby.